I'm Stephen Hayden, and today I'm going to go over an analysis into hop production over time. The goal here is to provide a forecast to help brewers and hop farmers get a better idea to see if they need to adjust their forward outlook. So let's get started here. We'll get into some fun facts, first of all, and I'm from or around the Yakima Valley, and Yakima Valley is a leading hop producer in, actually the top hop producer in the world, with the Pacific Northwest producing like 99% of the hops in the US. And I'm hoping with my background in this, I'll be able to bring in additional insights into this analysis. So first things first, let's go ahead and take the realizations of the data. And what you'll notice is that there is an upward trend in here. And also the same with the temperature data as well. And hop production is in tons, and this is for the entire US. And temp is the average temp across the US that I got from NOAA. And so to look to see if there's any evidence of not wandering behavior, but if this is non-stationary data, we see that the frequency is at 0 for the hop production, and then also the peak frequency is at 0 for the temperature as well. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed that this is non-stationary data. So we'll look to see if we need to do any transformations of the data. And so I went ahead and did a Dickey-Fuller test, and we went ahead and transformed the data based on the p-value I got from that, which we failed to reject the null hypothesis with a 0.19. And I actually differenced the data twice on this one. And you can see this is the realization without transforming, and then this is after. And the autocorrelation looks much better. Everything seems to be within bounds now after the transformation. So let's go ahead and look at our first model here. And it is a ARIMA 8.2. And I got this using the AIC. And then the second model is a 1.2 using the BIC. And that's kind of expected. The characteristics of using BIC usually gives you a smaller model, and an AIC is much, much larger. We can see that the average squared error is 35 million for the first model, and then 1.6 billion for the second model. And you can kind of see for anything with an AR1 component, it kind of has a straight trend up there, while this one is much more, it fluctuates as peaks and troughs in there. And then we also did the Young test as well, and that's basically just testing the residuals to see if they're sufficiently white and if there's other things that we can do with the component. Well, got pretty strong evidence we failed to reject the null hypothesis at both k values and at both models as well. So let's go ahead and bring in that temperature variable now. And first thing, it's going to do some cross-correlation analysis. And we see that there's a lot of lags that are correlated with each other here, but the strongest one is at the lag 1 of the temperature data with hop production seems to be the highest. So I went ahead and created a lag 1 variable to do some analysis. And we did not as good as our first model here. Keep in mind that when talking about these errors, this is for the entire US and it's in tons. So this may seem like a large number, but you just got to keep in mind the situation, what we're dealing with here. So 93 million, and then plotted the realizations here to see if they look sufficiently white, as well as doing the Young test, and we failed to reject the null hypothesis here. So evidence that it's sufficiently white. Okay, so forecast. Now this one is a neural network that we did, and the model performance here is 92 million average square error for the MLP model. And again, everything checks out on the Young test as well. So let's go ahead and compare our models to see to build an ensemble of them. And the idea here is to take our top two models and average them together to see if we get a better one. So and, it's hard to tell, but the red one is the MLP, the blue one is our first model, and green is the second, and purple is our VAR model. And again, when judging by the performance of the ASE, those are rolling windows as well. Otherwise, if you were just looking at the last 5, you'd probably say that Model 2 was the best one because it is the closest. But again, it's factoring in all the error way back here in the residuals. So went ahead and created this ensemble model, and then now we have all of our models that we're going to look at and compare, and that we're going to use to forecast the next 5 years. And I was actually kind of a little surprised that the Model 1, the REMA 8.2 is the best one, with the lowest ASE in there. The ensemble came out with the second highest, and you can see the rest of the ASEs here. And so here's the forecast for the next 5 years, and that I would recommend using. But there are several things that I would say that would maybe make this better. In my experience, and maybe like cloud cover is a good variable to bring in that could be really correlated, because temperature maybe might not be the best, especially average temperature. Maybe if we drilled in and got a little more granularity by like weeks and months, that might be a better one. And that would kind of be my next step of where I would want to go on this. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.